There's brilliant chemistry between you two, but the other member of the cast that we think is fantastic is Harry the Lizard.
Of course.
Now, working with him is quite a challenge, isn't it, Kris? Tell us all about that.
Well, Harry's not real. There he is, that's Harry. He's a little silver ball, and basically then they take him away, and so you have to look at nothingness, and then it's fine if he's just sort of, you know, in one spot, but he moves around, and so you're following around. It's like 3 years at drama school, didn't really do and then he lands on you, and there's a little puff of air on your T-shirt, and you have to, you know, it stretches you as an actor.
I bet it does, but I'm sure this will become as news to many, many people. But
he's not real.
You haven't met Harry the Lizard. We thought we would do our very best. So we've got Mike here, Mike Dilger, with a little
Kris,
friend.
Sara,
with a little friend.
the real Harry.
Oh,
As near as we could get to your Chinese water, to your imaginary CGI lizard. This is the Chinese water dragon. There's a little boy, he's about 12 inches long, and when he's fully adult, in about 10 years, he'll be about 3 foot long, eat fish, worms, invertebrates, lives in the Southeast Asian forests, and he's about a metre long, but he's all tail. And I'm holding him quite firmly because if he goes, he'll go up on 2 legs and he will sprint across the studio and I will be in trouble. So I'm keeping a fairly good hold of him, but he's beautiful, isn't he?
Come on, Death in Paradise.
There you go. If you hold him just gently there, between your fingers.
Oh, he's shaking.
He looks really scared.
Fantastic. Don't let him go, Sara.
I won't,
She's got
I
it.
won't.
So cute. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
You can settle down now, though. Relax. Because we've got part 2 of your humpback whale adventure. So just tell us then, bring us up to speed. What happened yesterday?
Well, indeed, Al. 2 days on the boat. First day, the pressure was on. We didn't really see very much. Second day, did we see humpbacks? Of course we did. And a whole lot more besides. I'm at sea off the southwest coast of Ireland, and I'm here in search of humpback whales. I did see one in the far distance, but it's disappeared. It's been down 3 or 4 minutes, so hopefully we'll get it popping back up. I barely caught it. They are so tough to spot. Come on, come on. There we go, there's the blow! There's the blow! Blow again. Whoa, fantastic. Long back, there goes the tail. Humpback. There he goes, there he goes. Oh, yes! Get in there, saw the fluke. Oh, that was glorious. Absolutely brilliant, my first humpback. Oh, what a day. And it just gets better and better. It's not until you get this close you realise what monstrous animals they are. This probably weighs 20 tonnes, 12 metres long. What an enormous beast! Whilst I've been simply admiring this beautiful animal, Porrick has been diligently taking photos of the tail fluke. Every whale has a unique pattern of markings, and if he can get a good enough photo, he might be able to identify the individual. The humpback disappears on a deep dive, which gives us time to review the photos. Have you got a shot of the tail fluke?
Yeah, we have a shot. The question is, do we have a good enough one?
Oh, that is brilliant. Now, is it in your humpback whale catalogue?
We have in here 32 humpback whales that the Irish Whale and Dolphin Group have documented since 1999. Stop. Oh. And there's your little black dot there. We know this one.
That is an absolute perfect match. It's number 23.
If you look at the dates there, July, August, September. First sighting of him here was May this year, and he's been seen throughout July, and now here we are, August, and he's back again. So he is a summer visitor that is using these waters off the West Kerry coast for feeding purposes. It's great to have him back.
The humpback whale is known to have the longest migration of any mammal. And by comparing these pictures with those taken elsewhere in the Atlantic, scientists hope to gain more detailed information about their movements. As the day draws to a close, we decide to head for home. But as we motor towards shore, we come across the same whale again. Same one.
Number 23.
But this time, it does something none of us were expecting. Oh,
We just had a breach. Oh, my word, that is a highlight. It just came up and just exploded. Smack!
Hold back, it could breach again.
There we go, and again! Wow! Just caught a little bit of those massive pectoral fins there, and here it comes again! And to the next half hour, it continued 16 more times. Look! Oh, my word, that is a life highlight. That's why I watch wildlife, for moments like that. Although all whales can breach, humpbacks do it more than any other species. That's why they're so spectacular to watch. You know, on just a few occasions, the stars align, and you end up with a wildlife counter you will never, ever forget. But the best thing of all is, this is not in the tropics, in a far-flung place, thousands of miles away. This is in waters around the British Isles. Can't say better than that.
Well,
16.
What do you say about that, children? Look at that.
Now, clearly, they would have been showing off because they knew they were on the One Show tonight.
Clearly.
So Alex Jones on the sofa, in that case, we probably put on a show. They were absolutely... It was amazing.
But it's not common, is it? Especially off the southwest coast of Ireland.
Where they mostly breach is in the Caribbean, off Guadeloupe and off Cape Verde Islands in West Africa. But off the west of Ireland, the Irish and Whale Dolphin Group have been going out for 4 years, and most of them had never, ever seen a breach. The One Show turns up for 2 days, they do the song and dance routine. It was absolutely amazing. Couldn't believe it. I just totally lost it on that VT, and I had a tear in my eye as well.
I bet you did, Mike. I bet you did. But, I mean, is there any idea of why they are doing it?
Lots of theories as to why they breach, Matt, and it's still no one really properly knows. They have quite remorse eels stuck to them, which are parasites. They also have barnacles crustaceans on their skin, and it might be they're coming up because they're irritating them to actually slough them off or try and shake them off. That's one theory. Another theory is that they're basically communicating with other whales, and there are other whales in the area in Dingle, and sound travels a long way. That splash can be seen from a long distance. The other thought, of course, as well, is that they're doing it down in the Caribbean to keep the other males at bay, impress females. It's a kind of showing-off thing. But also, as well, my theory and Alex's theory is they're jumping for joy. They're doing it because they want to.
They love it.
Yeah, they love it.
And you mentioned communicating just there, and they made a discovery just in December, didn't they? A new discovery about the humpback whale.
Well, they often hunt cooperatively, Alex, and it's what's known as they bubble net at the surface, and that's seen during the daytime where they collect all the fish into a column and then pile through. But they're also hunting at Syracuse University off the coast of Massachusetts. They're hunting right down at the depths where it's dark 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and they're actually making this amazing tick-tock noise, like a grandfather clock.
So,
and they only do this with other whales,
right.
And they think this noise is actually kind of forcing these fish, like eels, called sandlaces, out of the bottom of the ocean bed where they are, and then they're snatching them up. And it's almost like ringing the dinner gong to get all the whales to come in to hunt cooperatively and collect them. Amazing.
And Chris, you're a big fan of marine life because you're a sailor yourself, aren't you? They've got a picture of you on a boat.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I like.
Where are you
to
there?
sail. That's the Bay of Biscay.
Oh, very nice.
I'm sailing across the Bay of Biscay. Yeah, lovely. Got lots of pilot whales.
Right.
Big pods of pilot whales following the boat and porpoising next to the boat. It's beautiful. I love pilot whales.
So do you have like little crew and all of that business then, or do you?
That's my friend's boat actually, we were sailing it down to Mallorca then from Southampton. And we usually go. Sometimes it's just me and him. Sometimes it's a crew of 4 of us, because you have to do watches when you do 4 hours on, 4 hours off.
Well, listen, let's return.
Tough life.
Let's now return to the world of crime and coppers, shall we? And a piece of kit that once upon a time no British Bobby would be without.
Here's Phil Tufnell having a blast as the One Show whistleblower.
A whistle has the power to stop traffic, lift hearts and dampen spirits. And one man's whistle has had the power to echo through time more than most. This whistle is the work of Brummie entrepreneur Joseph Hudson. Its design goes back 130 years and was so successful that Hudson's whistles have been heard throughout history, from World Cups to World Wars. But first, Hudson had to convince London's bobbies his whistle could sound brighter than the rest. So, what connects this whistle with the police?
When the police started in 1829, they needed a method of communication to attract attention from colleagues if you needed assistance. Originally, it was a great big rattle. It was cumbersome, it was big, and it was bulky. So they decided that the rattle had to go. So a competition was launched by the London police for somebody to design a whistle.
Up in Birmingham, Joseph Hudson had been scraping a living building anything from corkscrews to whistles. Now was his chance for success. Simon Totman runs the Hudson Whistle Company, now known as Acme Whistles. How did Hudson come up with the design for the police competition?
Well, the first thing he started with was the sound. He was musing on this idea as he played his violin one evening, a violin not unlike this one over here, and somehow he contrived to drop it.
Oh.
And from the breaking sound of his violin came the idea of a discordant note. Yes. You know, if you break anything, a cup, a bottle, a plate, it kind of shakes you up a bit. And he thought, if I can put that kind of sound into my whistle, maybe it will turn heads and the police will like it. And he eventually came up with two chambers that made the kind of discordant, jarring note he was really looking for. He wrapped them up into a whistle, made it possible to blow it, and that was how it all got started.
Hudson was up against tough competition, but the police would choose the whistle that sounded the furthest.
And they had a grand testing on Clapham Common, and it was heard just over a mile away. They said to Joseph Hudson, "Return to Birmingham and you'll be receiving a fine order from us."
For Hudson, business boomed. The Metropolitan whistle became part of the police uniform around the British Empire, and their success inspired him to design even more. Hudson's whistles were heard from the Titanic to the trenches, and even blew time when England won the World Cup. But could his whistles still stand up to the police test today?
We have high buildings, we have traffic on every street, so it's got a lot of competition in the noise sphere.
Back in the 1880s, Clapham Common was a more peaceful park. It's going to take a lot to be heard over 21st century noise.
I've got me measuring wheel to clock up some quarter-mile intervals. I hope you got plenty of puff.
OK. We're testing the Victorian police whistle at quarter-of-a-mile intervals to see just how far away it can be heard.
Phil, we're at the half-mile point now. Yes, very definitely we can hear that. OK, speak to you at 3/4. Yes, definitely. They're starting to get that little bit fainter now. Let's move up to a mile then, Phil, and we'll see if we can do it. What do you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'll give you 3 loud blasts.
Go for it.
It's the moment of truth.
Yep, they were just there, but only just. I think if I was a Bobby on the beat, I'd like a slightly louder signal.
Well, Simon, I'm absolutely amazed that they work, but can we stop blowing these whistles? Because I think the police are coming.
Well, I think we can put a big fat tick by the side of whistles.
I thoroughly enjoyed that,
We've
Phil.
done whistles.
Cheers, Phil. Now, earlier on, we asked you to send in pictures of your idea of paradise, and you certainly haven't disappointed. This one comes in from Tom O'Boyle, quite an appropriate name, as he says that his idea of paradise is swimming in the Serpentine in London's Hyde Park. Absolutely freezing.
Very nice. Martin says his paradise is spending time away in his tent with his friend with a petrol stationary engines at steam rallies.
And we have to say goodbye, but I'm just going to hold up Bob Morland while we do. Anyway, that's all for tonight. A big thank you to Kris and to Sara. Death in Paradise starts on Thursday, 9 p.m. on BBC One.
We'll be back tomorrow with David Dimbleby, James Corden and Emily Blunt. We'll see you just before 7. Bye.
Bye from all of us, including Bob and his team.